Transcendentalism, 1830 to 1860.
What does Transcendentalism mean?
There is an ideal spiritual state which transcends the physical and empirical.
A loose collection of eclectic ideas about literature, philosophy, religion, culture, social reform, and general state of America.
However, Transcendentalism had different meanings for each person involved in the movement.
Where did it come from?
Ralph Waldo Emerson gave German philosopher Immanuel Kant credit for popularizing the term Transcendentalism. It began as a reform movement in the Unitarian.
It is not a religion. More accurately, it is a philosophy or form of spirituality.
It centered around Boston and Concord, Massachusetts, in the mid-1900s. Emerson first expressed his philosophy of Transcendentalism in his essay Nature.
What did Transcendentalists believe?
They believe in the intuitive faculty instead of the rational or sensical, became the means for a conscious union of the individual psyche known as Oversoul, Life Force, Prime Mover, and God.
They also believes in goodness of people and nature.
The basic premise they believe in are:
Basic premise number 1. An individual is the spiritual center of the universe, and in an individual can be found the clue to nature, history, and ultimately the cosmos itself. It is not a rejection of the existence of God, but a preference to explain an individual and the world in terms of an individual.
Basic premise number 2. The structure of the universe literally duplicates the structure of the individual self. All knowledge, therefore, begins with self-knowledge. This is similar to Aristotle's.
Basic premise number 3. Transcendentalists accepted the concept of nature as living mystery, full of signs. Nature is symbolic.
Basic premise number 4. The belief that individual virtue and happiness depend upon self-realization. Desire to embrace the whole world, to know and become one with the world. Desire to withdraw, remain unique and separate, an egotistical existence.
Who were the Transcendentalists?
Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803 to 1882, Unitarian minister, poet and essayist, founded the Transcendental Club, popular lecturer, banned from Harvard for 40 years following his divinity school address, supporter of abolitionism.
Henry David Thoreau, 1817 to 1862, school teacher, essayist, and poet, most famous for Walden and civil disobedience, influenced environmental movement.
Bronson Alcott, 1799 to 1888, teacher and writer, founder of Temple School and Fruitlands, introduced art, music, PE, nature study, and field trips, banished corporal punishment, father of novelist Louisa May Alcott.
Margaret Fuller, 1810 to 1850, journalist, critic, women's rights activist, first editor of The Dial, a Transcendental journal, first female journalist to work on a major newspaper, The New York Tribune.
Ellery G. Channing, 1818 to 1901, poet and especially close friend of Thoreau, published the first biography of Thoreau in 1873, Thoreau, the Poet Naturalist.